Hi dear students, in this class we'll be talking about Rh negative pregnancy, that is rhesus negative pregnancy. So come, let's start with rhesus negative pregnancy. So at the very onset I would like to tell you that rhesus negative is a blood group which is of varying incidence in various races across the world. If you see the Indian population, in Indian population 95% of us are Rh positive, whereas 5% of the people are Rh negative. They are Rh negative. Whereas in various other races, it is varying in proportion. There is a tribe called Baskis population, which is present in Latin, somewhere around Latin America. They have 100% population as Rh negative population. They are all Rh negative. They have indigenous marriage amongst themselves. They do not marry from outside caste, and so they retain their property of Rh negative pregnancies and Rh negative population. Okay. So now, why is it important to study the Rh factor? It is important that first of all, Landsteiner and Wiener, okay, Landsteiner and Wiener had first described this antigen on the RBC surface. Red blood cells have surface antigens which are in the form of Rh antigens. Now there are five predominant antigens which are present. One is capital C, small c, capital D, capital E, small e. These are the five antigens. Apart from that, you have Kell, Kidd, and Duffy. Kell, Kidd, and Duffy. These are few of the antigens which are present in RBC cell surface, which gives it an Rh positive appearance. Okay. Now always remember, this is inherited in chromosome 1. Short arm of chromosome 1 has this, that is P, that is short arm of chromosome 1 has this characteristic of Rh negative gene. Most important among them is capital D, D antigen. 99% of Rh positive nature is brought about by this D antigen. So presence of D antigen on the surface of RBCs makes the blood Rh positive, whereas if D antigen is absent, which is denoted as small d, actually small d is not an antigen. Remember, small d is not an antigen. Absence of capital D is termed as small d. So small d is absence of capital D. So if capital D antigen is not present on the surface of RBCs, then you say the patient is Rh negative. The patient is Rh negative. Now, why it is important? It is important because if the mother is Rh negative, remember, if the mother is Rh negative, means the female is Rh negative and her husband is having Rh positive baby, Rh positive blood group. If father is Rh positive, then it may so happen that baby, most of the cases baby will be Rh positive. So this Rh positivity will be a foreign antigen for the mother in the uterus. So body will try to form antibodies against it. Now let us know the basics of blood grouping. What actually happens is RBC has surface antigens. What are the surface antigens which are present in RBC? It can be A, B, or D antigen. Okay, presence of A antigen will make the patient as blood group A. Presence of B antigen will make the blood group as B, and presence of D antigen will make the blood group as Rh positive. Okay. So if somebody has A antigen also, B antigen also, and D antigen also, so blood group will be AB positive. If somebody has only B antigen and the D antigen, it will be B positive. A antigen, D antigen will be A positive. If none of A and B are present, then you say it is O blood group. O means 0, O blood group. So O and D antigen is positive, it means O positive. If none of the antigens are present, then it will be O negative. Okay, so similarly it is like this. A patient, if the patient does not have A antigen, okay, then the patient can have the ability to make anti-D in the body, anti-A in the body. Antibody can be produced if from outside patient receives A antigen blood in the body. Okay, so similarly, if a patient does not have D antigen and positive blood group is transfused within her, then she will develop anti-D antibody against that blood, so that it goes and destroys. So initially in the first 6 to 12 months, the antibody which will be produced, the anti-D which is produced, will be of IgM variety. IgM, initially we all know that IgM is produced, which is a large molecule, and it does not cross the placenta. But after 12 months, slowly anti-D IgG is produced, which is a small molecule, and it will cross the placenta. Okay, so once it crosses the placenta, it can destroy the fetus. Now suppose the mother is Rh negative, so and the baby is Rh positive, because father has a Rh positive blood group. So what happens is, there is sometimes feto-maternal hemorrhage. Feto-maternal hemorrhage means some blood from the fetus goes towards the mother, and some blood from the mother comes to the fetus in the form of materno-fetal hemorrhage. So there is ongoing feto-maternal hemorrhage and materno-fetal hemorrhage which keeps occurring in the body. So because of feto-maternal hemorrhage, positive blood from the fetus goes to the mother. पॉजिटिव ब्लड मदर के अंदर जाती है, एंड जब मदर के अंदर पॉजिटिव ब्लड चला जाता है, देन मदर स्टार्ट्स डेवलपिंग दिस एंटी-डी, वो एंटी-डी फॉर्म करने लगती है. दिस एंटी-डी विल बी इनिशियली IgM इन द फर्स्ट 6 to 12 months, एंड दैट विल नॉट बी एबल टू क्रॉस द प्लेसेंटा. अगर वो प्लेसेंटा क्रॉस नहीं किया तो वो बेबी में नहीं जा पाएगा, बेबी को डिस्ट्रॉय नहीं कर पाएगा. बट नेक्स्ट प्रेगनेंसी जब होगा, इन द सेकेंड प्रेगनेंसी, तो फर्स्ट प्रेगनेंसी सही से हो जाएगा, फर्स्ट प्रेगनेंसी विल नॉट बी हैम्पर्ड. बट इन द सेकेंड प्रेगनेंसी व्हाट हैपन्स, व्हेन शी अगेन बिकम्स प्रेग्नेंट, बाय देन द पेशेंट हैज ऑलरेडी डेवलप्ड IgG anti-D. सो नेक्स्ट टाइम अगर बच्चा दोबारा से पॉजिटिव ब्लड ग्रुप होता है, then this time mother's anti-D IgG will cross the placenta, come to the fetus and destroy the fetus's RBCs, and then fetus will develop hydrops fetalis. What actually do you mean by hydrops fetalis? Hydrops मतलब hydro मतलब water and fetalis is fetus. So basically जो ब्लड है, ब्लड का जो RBC है, RBC डिस्ट्रॉय हो जा रहा है, बिकॉज एंटी-डी विल बी डिस्ट्रॉइंग द डी एंटीजन इन द RBC, सो RBC विल बी डिस्ट्रॉयड. तो बच्चे का जब RBC डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाएगा, तो ब्लड के अंदर RBC डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाएगा, तो रह जाएगा प्लाज्मा इज नथिंग बस वाटर. सो उसका ब्लड वाटरी हो जाएगा, एनीमिक हो जाएगा. सो बेबी विल बिकम हाइड्रोपिक फीटस, मीन्स बेबी के बॉडी में सिर्फ वाटर रह जाएगा, ब्लड नहीं रहेगा. सो दिस इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड हाइड्रोप्स फेटालिस. So what actually is occurring and how these things are occurring, this is what we will study today. First of all, I would like to talk about feto-maternal hemorrhage. मतलब क्या क्या ऐसा conditions है जब fetus से mother में blood जा रहा है, okay? And these are thereby leading to feto-maternal hemorrhage is a stimulus for anti-D formation in the mother. So feto-maternal hemorrhage can occur throughout pregnancy from early gestation onwards. So early gestation may, if there is abortion, if there is any abortion because of any kind, okay, be it DNC or be it medically managed, patient will have feto-maternal hemorrhage. Then there can be ectopic pregnancy. Ectopic pregnancy can also have feto-maternal hemorrhage. And your molar pregnancies can also have feto-maternal hemorrhage. Apart from that, patient can have trauma anytime in pregnancy. If there is trauma to the abdomen or to the uterus, then this can lead to feto-maternal hemorrhage. Then you have amniocentesis, chorionic villus sampling. These are the cases where there can be feto-maternal hemorrhage because you are inserting needle into the uterine cavity, okay? Then you have external cephalic version, internal podalic version, whereby you are doing maneuvers, and so there can be blood going from one side to the other. Then you have during delivery. The maximum fetal-maternal hemorrhage occurs during delivery, be it normal vaginal delivery or during LSCS. There will be a lot of fetal-maternal hemorrhage. Then you have any instrumental vaginal delivery in the form of forceps, ventouse or anything. Then any kind of placenta previa or placenta abruptio placentae, which are leading to APH, antepartum hemorrhage, abruptio placentae. These antepartum hemorrhage can lead to more and more bleeding and can lead to fetal-maternal hemorrhage. So these are the indications whereby patient will develop anti-D formation. Okay. Remember, these fetal-maternal hemorrhage occur mostly after 28 weeks of pregnancy. So after 7th month of pregnancy, fetal-maternal hemorrhage is more likely. So less than 28 weeks, less than 1% of the females will have fetal-maternal hemorrhage. Okay, but after 28 weeks, it is the incidence rises to 16 to 50%. So it increases many folds after 28 weeks. That is why what we are doing is we have started RADP, RAADP. इस पे शॉर्ट नोट्स आता है. What is RADP? RADP is routine antenatal anti-D prophylaxis. Antenatal anti-D prophylaxis. It means routinely we will give all patients anti-D injection at 28 weeks period of gestation. So now why this anti-D injection is given? Remember, this is the uterus and this is the baby. Okay, so this is the uterus and this is the baby. So what happens, because of fetal-maternal hemorrhage, baby ke blood is going to the mother's circulation and D antigen is going. Now this D antigen will stimulate the reticuloendothelial system. Reticuloendothelial system in liver, spleen are activated and in the bone marrow. And this reticuloendothelial system will stimulate the mother's body to produce anti-D. And this anti-D will then, first it will be IgM, then it will get converted to IgG after 1 year. And अगर उस समय दोबारा pregnancy होता है, then this IgG will go towards the baby and it will destroy the baby's RBCs. So what is our aim? Our aim is to decrease the reticuloendothelial cells from secreting this anti-D. So what we are doing is at 28 weeks, we are prophylactically giving injection anti-D in a very small amount. How much is the small amount? 300 micrograms. This is the amount we are giving, and anti-D is given intramuscularly. Intramuscularly it is given IM stat. Okay. Now this anti-D injection, what it will do, it is a weak form of anti-D and a very small amount. So what it will do is it will combine with the D antigen which is coming from the fetus, and it will go and neutralize this D antigen. So it will destroy the D antigen by anti-D. So what happens, this D antigen is not able to reach the reticuloendothelial cell, and so reticuloendothelial cell will not get activated, and so the entire cascade is not activated. So what happens, anti-D of the body is not formed, and so next pregnancy में ये बच्चे को destroy नहीं करेंगे. So this is our aim of giving anti-D. A little bit of anti-D is given, which is a weak attenuated form. It will come and neutralize the D antigen coming from the mother. So this D antigen won't be recognized by the reticuloendothelial cell, and so body's anti-D will not be formed, and so next pregnancy will not be destroyed. So that is why anti-D is given to all mothers at 28 weeks, and this is called routine antenatal anti-D prophylaxis. This anti-D is always given at 28 weeks or 7th month completed, because less than 28 weeks chances of fetal-maternal hemorrhage is very low. After 28 weeks chances of fetal-maternal hemorrhage increases manifold. That is why it is given at that time. Okay. Now, some of the more basic things which I am going to talk now is what is ICT, that is indirect Coombs test. Indirect Coombs test. You all might have studied in pathology and microbiology, but I will just revise once, otherwise, you will not understand the rest of the chapter. What is indirect Coombs test? In indirect Coombs test, it is done for mothers who are Rh negative, whose blood group is Rh negative. In mothers, we do that. So what happens is that mothers who are Rh negative, their RBCs will not have D antigen. Their RBCs will not have D antigen. But if the mother is Rh isoimmunized, what do you mean by isoimmunized? Means those mothers who have already produced anti-D in their body. एंटी-डी उनके बॉडी में ऑलरेडी बन गया है. एंटी-डी कैसे बन गया है? बिकॉज प्रीवियस कोई बच्चा पॉजिटिव था, उसके वजह से डी एंटीजन आ गया था और उनका रेटिकुलो एंडोथीलियल सेल हैड आइडेंटिफाइड दिस एंड हैड प्रोड्यूस द एंटी-डी इन द बॉडी. सो जिसके बॉडी में एंटी-डी एक बार बन गया है उसको बोलेंगे आइसो इम्यूनाइज्ड प्रेगनेंसी, या फिर उसका दूसरा नाम है alloimmunized pregnancy. So Rh isoimmunized and Rh alloimmunized means those mothers who had previously had a baby who was Rh positive and now they have already formed anti-D in their body. They are called Rh isoimmunized or Rh alloimmunized. So this ICT test will help us to know whether a female is already isoimmunized or not. So what we do is we take the mother's blood. The mother's blood is taken. So if mother's blood is taken, this mother will have anti-D in the serum. Anti-D is already present in the serum. Okay. So what we have already done is some of the mothers who are already isoimmunized, उनका blood plasma हमने ले लिया जिसमें anti-D था. ठीक है, there was anti-D. And this anti-D was injected into mice. Okay. तो माइस के अंदर जब हमने एंटी-डी इंजेक्ट कर दिया, ठीक है, तो माइस ने एंटीबॉडी बनाया अगेंस्ट द एंटी-डी. सो माइस हैज़ प्रोड्यूस्ड एंटी-डी. माइस के बॉडी के अंदर एंटी-डी आ गया. एंटीबॉडी टू एंटी-डी वॉज प्रोड्यूस्ड बाय द माइस. दिस एंटीबॉडी टू एंटी-डी we have taken, okay, we have derived from the mice and then we have killed the mice. Now this anti-D serum is nothing but Coombs serum. This is called the Coombs serum. Okay, so anti-D is called Coombs serum. Very important, समझ लो अच्छे से. anti-D we have taken from mothers जिनके body में anti-D already बन गया है. We have injected it into mice एंड माइस के बॉडी ने एंटीबॉडी टू एंटी-डी बना दिया एंड दिस एंटी-डी वी हैव extracted from mice body and we have killed the mice. So this serum which has anti-D is called Coombs serum. So we have kept the Coombs serum. Now when a mother is Rh negative, we take her blood and to the blood we add Coombs serum. उसमें हम Coombs serum add कर देते हैं. ओके, सो क्या हो गया? बेसिकली अगर मदर आइसोइम्यूनाइज्ड है तो मदर विल हैव एंटी-डी एंड एंटी-डी के साथ ये एंटी-डी भी बाइंड हो जाएगा. तो एवरी टाइम देयर विल बी एंटी-डी एंड एंटी-डी, दे विल गेट बाइंड. ओके, सो इट विल बी अ लार्ज मॉलिक्यूल. नाउ टू दैट व्हाट वी ऐड इज वी ऐड Rh-D पॉजिटिव RBCs. ओके, D RBCs ऐड कर दिया. RBCs मतलब पॉजिटिव ब्लड ग्रुप के किसी का RBC ऐड कर दिया. सो व्हेन वी ऐड द RBCs, द एंटायर थिंग दे विल क्लम्प बिकॉज इसमें D है तो D विल बाइंड विथ एंटी-डी विल बाइंड विथ एंटी-डी एंड ऑल विल बाइंड टुगेदर एंड इट विल फॉर्म अ क्लॉट. Okay, there will be clotting or coagulation present. Okay, coagulation present. So the serum, the Coombs serum which was there, Coombs serum will become coagulated. Okay, so it will become coagulated. So we say कि patient is ICT positive. So ICT positive का मतलब है पेशेंट के ब्लड के अंदर एंटी-डी था, तभी तो एंटी-डी से बाइंड हुआ एंड RBC से बाइंड हो गया. इफ मदर वॉज नॉट आइसोइम्यूनाइज्ड और नॉट एलोइम्यूनाइज्ड देन मदर के अंदर एंटी डी नहीं रहेगा. एंटी डी नहीं रहेगा तो डी एंटीजन एंड एंटी डी विल नॉट बाइंड टुगेदर and there will not be any clot formation, there will not be any clumping. Okay, so once patient is ICT positive, then we go for serial dilution of this sample. We go on serially diluting this sample. Okay, so ये dilute कर दिया हमने 1:2 कर दिया. पहले 1:1 था, देन हम इसको सीरियल डाइल्यूट किया, डबल कर दिया, सीरम डाल दिया तो 1:2 हो गया. फिर हम देखेंगे कि ये जो क्लम्पिंग था ये डिज़ोल्व हुआ है कि नहीं. इफ़ इट इज़ डिज़ोल्व देन वेल एंड गुड. इफ़ इट इज़ नॉट डिज़ोल्व देन वी अगेन डाइल्यूटेड, तो ये हो जाएगा 1:4. उसके बाद फिर और डाइल्यूट करेंगे तो ये हो जाएगा 1:8. ओके, सो द फर्स्ट डाइल्यूशन एट विच द क्लम्पिंग विल डिसअपियर, वी विल मार्क दिस वन. ठीक है, एंड देन उससे लास्ट वाला, जो उससे पहले वाला सैंपल था, जिसमें लास्ट वाला सैंपल था जिसमें क्लम्पिंग आया था, दैट विल बी आवर टाइटर ऑफ ICT. तो जिसके अंदर जितना ज़्यादा एंटी डी टाइटर्स रहेंगे उसको उतना ही ज़्यादा डाइल्यूट करना पड़ेगा टू डिज़ोल्व दिस. सो मीन्स द टाइटर विल इंक्रीज. सो 1:4 से 1:8 हो जाएगा, 1:8 से 1:16 एंड देन 1:32. सो जितना डिनोमिनेटर बढ़ेगा दैट विल बी द इट विल सिग्निफाई कि RH she is more and more isoimmunized, that is more amount of anti-D is produced in her body. Okay, so the critical titer for starting blood transfusion to the baby is 1:16. 1:16 जब टाइटर हो जाता है तब हम ये बोलते हैं कि एंटी डी का इतना ज़्यादा मात्रा हो गया है कि अब बेबी का ब्लड ख़राब हो जाएगा, बेबी को एनीमिया हो जाएगा. देन वी हैव टू गो फॉर फर्दर इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऑफ द पेशेंट्स. ओके, सो दिस इज़ व्हाट इज़ द बेसिक्स. नाउ कमिंग टू द मैनेजमेंट, हाउ विल यू मैनेज अ पेशेंट ऑफ RH negative pregnancy. Okay, so first of all remember, when a patient comes to you in first visit in pregnancy, we always get RH blood grouping done. blood group हमेशा कराते हैं कोई भी पेशेंट का. in first antenatal visit blood grouping is done. Okay, if blood group is positive, if blood group of the mother is positive, then nothing has to be done. But if blood group is negative, that is D negative या RH negative हो जाता है, then our next, what is the next management that we do? We next go for husband का blood group. We next see what is the blood group of the husband. Okay, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फ्लो चार्ट, ऑलवेज ट्राई टू रिमेंबर दिस फ्लो चार्ट. हस्बैंड का ब्लड ग्रुप कराएंगे. अगर हस्बैंड का ब्लड ग्रुप नेगेटिव आता है, मदर का भी नेगेटिव है एंड हस्बैंड का भी नेगेटिव है, तो कुछ नहीं करना है क्योंकि बेबी विल ऑल्सो बी हैविंग नेगेटिव ब्लड ग्रुप. सो देर विल बी नो चांसेस ऑफ एंटी डी फॉर्मेशन एंड नो RH आइसोइम्यूनाइजेशन. बट अगर हस्बैंड का ब्लड ग्रुप इज पॉजिटिव एंड वाइफ का ब्लड ग्रुप इज नेगेटिव, देन यू हैव टू check mother's ICT. ICT is indirect Coombs test. Why are we doing indirect Coombs test? क्योंकि husband positive है, wife negative है, तो most probably baby can be positive. More chances that baby will be positive. Heterozygous positive हो सकता है. तो अगर बेबी पॉजिटिव है तो देर विल बी fetomaternal hemorrhage. If fetomaternal hemorrhage has occurred and anti-D has already formed in the baby, then this baby might become damaged. RBCs डैमेज हो सकता है. तो इसलिए हम ICT टेस्ट कराएंगे ये देखने के लिए कि मदर में एंटी-D फॉर्म तो नहीं हो गया है. सो वी विल डू ICT. If ICT is negative for the mother, then we have to repeat ICT again at 28 weeks. Okay, at 28 weeks, because fetomaternal hemorrhage occurs again at 28 weeks पे ज़्यादा होता है 28 weeks के beyond. So we repeat the ICT at 28 weeks and again at 36 weeks. Okay, if ICT is always negative then well and good, कुछ नहीं करना है. we have to go for normal delivery, normal vaginal delivery or LSCS as per the indication of pregnancy. We can go up to term, that is 39 to 40 weeks तक जा सकते हो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, normally deliver हो जाएगा. So repeat ICT. ICT is done at first visit. If the husband is positive, wife is negative. If it is negative, then repeat ICT at 28 and 36 weeks. If everything is negative, then go for normal delivery. बट एनी टाइम इफ ICT इज पॉजिटिव, ठीक है, बुकिंग विजिट वाला ICT पॉजिटिव हो या 28 वीक्स पे पॉजिटिव या 36 वीक्स पे पॉजिटिव, रिमेंबर इफ ICT इज पॉजिटिव देन यू हैव टू चेक व्हाट इज द टाइटर ऑफ ICT. ओके, इफ द टाइटर इज हाई मीन्स ज़्यादा डाइल्यूशन करना पड़ा, इसका मतलब एंटिटी क्वांटिटी इज हाई. सो वी हैव टू चेक वेदर टाइटर इज मोर देन 1:16 और नॉट, because 1:16 is the critical titer. So you check the titer of ICT if it is positive. If the titer is less than 1:16, if the titer is less than 1:16 means 1:2, 1:4, 1:8, ये सारे अगर titer है, then you have to do nothing, but you have to just repeat ICT every weekly, okay, weekly or 2 weekly, every weekly or every 2 weekly you have to go on repeating ICT and check कि टाइटर कभी 1:16 क्रॉस तो नहीं कर रहा है. अगर ICT टाइटर 1:16 से कम है, then again nothing to be done, go for NVD or LSCS, whatever is the indication at 39 to 40 weeks. Nothing has to be done. RH positive pregnancy with ICT negative, ICT अगर positive है but it is less than this thing 1:16, then nothing has to be done. Okay, nothing has to be done. So 39 to 40 weeks, or else you can go at 38 to 39 weeks. Nothing specific has to be done because patient का critical titer cross नहीं हुआ है. But any time if it is more than 1:16, more than equal 1:16 या फिर 1:16, 1:32, 1:64 कोई भी value आ जाए, then you have to do ultrasound for the patient. You have to take up the patient for ultrasound. USG has to be done. In ultrasound, what all do we check? Very, very important. What all do we check? Number 1, we have to check for the estimated fetal weight. बच्चे का estimated weight कितना आ रहा है? It is not expected fetal weight. Always remember it is estimated fetal weight कितना है. Next, you have to see for signs of hydrops. Signs of fetal hydrops. मतलब देखना है कि fetus सच में affect हो गया है कि नहीं. Whether there is edema in the fetus, whether there is anasarca in the fetus has already started or not. And next you will check for middle cerebral artery peak systolic velocity, MCA-PSV. Now what is MCA-PSV? MCA-PSV is, suppose this is the brain of the fetus. This is the brain of the fetus. So brain of the fetus will have anterior cerebral artery, middle cerebral artery and posterior cerebral artery which are supplying the brain. So this middle cerebral artery का जो flow होता है that we check. Middle cerebral artery का जो flow होता है blood flow. So it is estimated that अगर hemolysis हो रहा है and बच्चे का RBC destroy हो रहा है, तो बच्चे का क्या होगा? Blood will become more and more watery. It will not have the viscosity because RBCs destroy हो गए. अगर ब्लड मोर एंड मोर वाटरी हो जाएगा तो ब्लड का फ्लो बढ़ जाएगा. अगर वो फ्लो बढ़ जाएगा तो वेलोसिटी ऑफ द ब्लड विल ऑल्सो इंक्रीज बिकॉज वाटर हैज़ मोर वेलोसिटी देन थिक ब्लड. विस्कस ब्लड नहीं रहेगा, वो वेलोसिटी बढ़ जाएगा. वंस वेलोसिटी इज इंक्रीजेज, द पीक सिस्टोलिक वेलोसिटी in the middle cerebral artery will also increase. So more and more peak systolic velocity of the middle cerebral artery is an indication कि there is fetal anemia. And so if there is fetal anemia, blood has already been destroyed, then we have to go for blood transfusion of the fetus, which is also called IUT, intrauterine transfusion. intrauterine बच्चे को पेट के अंदर ही हम ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूज करेंगे. ओके, नाउ नेक्स्ट आता है कि व्हाट आर द साइंस ऑफ फीटल हाई ड्रॉप्स. फीटल हाई ड्रॉप्स के क्या साइंस है और कैसे पता चलेगा कि बच्चे का ब्लड डिस्ट्रॉय हुआ है कि नहीं. सो बेबी विल बी वेरी मच ओबीज, वो मोटा सा बच्चा हो जाएगा क्योंकि उसके अंदर पूरा पानी पानी सा भर जाएगा. ओके, सो बेबी विल बिकम ओबीज. सो व्हाट आर द साइंस विच वी विल फाइंड. ऊपर से लेके स्टार्ट करो. पेशेंट विल हैव स्किन थिकनेस. ओके, स्किन थिकनेस. सो स्किन थिकनेस विल इंक्रीज क्योंकि स्किन के अंदर पानी आ गया है. तो स्किन थिकनेस कहाँ पे देखते हैं? एट द लेवल ऑफ फोरहेड. Okay, at the level of forehead you will find that skin thickness is increased and it will be more than 2 millimeter skin thickness, more than 2 millimeter. Very very important, these are the questions which is asked. So forehead skin thickness is more than 2 is something which you get. Okay, then you come to the heart. Heart में there will be pericardial effusion. Pericardial effusion. Pericardial cavity में there will be fluid accumulation. तो pericardial effusion will occur and pericardial effusion का thickness will also be more than 2 millimeter. Okay. Then there will be pleural effusion. Pleural effusion. Lungs में पानी भर जाएगा तो patient will have, baby will have pleural effusion. Okay. Pleural effusion का there is no measurement. Even if a little bit of fluid is coming in the lungs, it will be visible. Then there will be ascites. Ascites which will be present. Ascites का भी कोई measurement नहीं है. Fetal ascites also is seen in this thing, in hydrops. After that there will be hepatomegaly. There will be hepatomegaly. अब hepatomegaly कितना होगा? Hepatomegaly will be more than 2 standard deviation of the normal liver length of the liver. Okay, length of the liver length will be more than, liver length will be more than 2 standard deviation of normal. This means liver is enlarged. There is hepatomegaly. Then there will be splenomegaly. Splenomegaly. How do you tell fetal splenomegaly? Fetal splenomegaly के लिए you take the spleen circumference. Spleen का circumference, not the spleen length. It is the spleen circumference which is taken into account, and spleen circumference is length plus breadth into 1.57. Okay, so this is how we calculate the spleen circumference. If spleen circumference is again more than 2 standard deviation of normal, then you say there is splenomegaly. So these are some of the signs which you get of fetal hydrops. Apart from that there will be placentomegaly also. Placenta भी बहुत बड़ा हो जाएगा. प्लेसेंटा क्यों बड़ा हो जाएगा? क्योंकि बेबी को एनीमिया है तो मोर एंड मोर ब्लड विल हैव टू बी ट्रांसपोर्टेड फ्रॉम द मदर टू द fetus. So placentomegaly. When do you say it is placentomegaly? Placentomegaly is determined by placental thickness, the diameter of the placenta, the thickness of the placenta. If it is more than 4 centimeters in second trimester, and more than 6 centimeters in the third trimester, then you say patient is having fetal hydrops, baby is having fetal hydrops. निमोनिक क्या है इसका? निमोनिक है सेकेंड ट्राइमेस्टर में 2 का डबल होता है 4 सेंटीमीटर से मोटा, एंड थर्ड ट्राइमेस्टर में 3 into 2 is 6, so 6 सेंटीमीटर से मोटा. Very 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 important criteria, fetal hydrops. It is asked in MCQs. So I am repeating once again: forehead skin thickness more than 2 pericardial effusion more than 2 then fetal ascites, pericardial pleural effusion, fetal ascites. Then you have your ductus venosus. Ductus venosus is a blood vessel. So ductus venosus diameter of more than 5 is also a criteria for fetal hydrops apart from placentomegaly. तो जब हमारा ICT more than 1:16 हो गया था तब that was the critical titer and baby effect होना स्टार्ट हो गया था. तो हमने जो अल्ट्रासाउंड कराया है, अल्ट्रासाउंड में एस्टिमेटेड फीटल वेट देखा था we had calculated the estimated fetal weight. We had also seen for the signs of fetal height drops. And number 3, we had checked for MCA PSV. Now, what actually we check in middle cerebral artery peak systolic velocity? In middle cerebral artery peak systolic velocity, we check whether the velocity of the blood is increasing. So, how much should the velocity increase? So we say it is increased. We calculate it in multiples of median. The median value, that is the normal value, is 1 mom. 1 multiple of median is normal value. तो अगर वो नॉर्मल वैल्यू से 1.5 गुना बढ़ जाता है, that is 1.5 times of the normal value multiples of median, then we say कि blood flow velocity has increased, and this is equivalent to hemoglobin decreasing to less than 8 grams per deciliter. जब बच्चे का हीमोग्लोबिन लेस देन 8 ग्राम्स हो जाता है, दैट इज सीवियरली एनीमिक हो जाता है फीटस, then the blood becomes so watery that the flow is increased to more than 1.5 times of normal. So 1.5 times of normal में हमें पता लग जाता है कि hemoglobin is less than 8 grams per deciliter. Okay, so this is an indication for IUT, indication for intrauterine transfusion. So how do we actually do intrauterine transfusion? For intrauterine transfusion, you should always remember, we always transfuse O negative blood, because O negative people are universal donors. So O negative PRBCs can be transfused because they are donors, because they do not have A antigen, B antigen, D antigen, कोई antigen नहीं है, they are very safest blood. So O negative PRBCs are taken. At this moment, I would also like to tell you that the normal hematocrit of an adult population is around 30%, 30 to 33% is the normal hematocrit. This means अगर hemoglobin किसी का 10 ग्राम होता है, then your hematocrit is 30%, means your hematocrit value is 3 times of hemoglobin. Hematocrit is 3 times of hemoglobin. This means the 10 ग्राम जिसका hemoglobin है उसका hematocrit is 30%. Always remember this. Adult hematocrit is 3 times of the hemoglobin. Whereas in babies, the hematocrit is almost double of or 5 times of the baby. Okay, hemoglobin. So this always remember. Moreover, what we do is, when we give IUT, intrauterine transfusion, then we generally do DVET. DVET is double volume transfusion. Okay, double volume transfusion is given, DVET is given to babies where we are doing intrauterine transfusion. So there we have double volume transfusion, means hematocrit is around 80%. Hematocrit is made 80%. It is a concentrated blood which is given to in IUT, so that we have to transfuse less. The next question comes, अब हमें पता लग गया है कि what is we are doing IUT. So IUT में हम blood कितना transfuse करेंगे, what is the volume of blood that is transfused in IUT. Very important, it comes as a question. Sometimes you get MCQs on this. What is the volume of blood which is to be transfused? So always remember this formula, very easy formula. It is the desired hematocrit, sorry for the technical glitch. There, how do you calculate the amount? It is a desired hematocrit minus the actual hematocrit. Okay, so the desired hematocrit, whatever we are desiring, wait a minute. So what is the volume of blood that will be transfused? Volume of blood that will be transfused will be desired hematocrit minus actual hematocrit by donor hematocrit. So 3 hematocrit का फॉर्मूला पहले आ जाएगा within the bracket, then multiplied by estimated fetal weight in kg, okay, into fetoplacental blood volume, fetoplacental blood volume in ml, okay, fetoplacental blood volume in ml. नाउ इसको समझ लो, इसको रटने वाली कोई बात नहीं है इसमें, ओके. सो बेसिकली व्हाट हैपेंस, वी कैलकुलेट हमारा डिज़ायर्ड कितना तक हमें हिमेटोक्रिट रेज करना है ट्रांसफ्यूजन के बाद, एंड व्हाट इज़ द एक्चुअल हिमेटोक्रिट, बच्चा कितना एनीमिक है. तो नॉर्मली व्हेन डू वी ट्रांसफ्यूज ब्लड, when the MCA PSV is more than 1.5 times multiples of median. It means जब इतना फ्लो बढ़ जाता है तो बच्चे का ब्लड इज ऑलमोस्ट लेस देन 8 ग्राम्स पर डेसीलीटर, हीमोग्लोबिन इज लेस देन 8. सो अगर हीमोग्लोबिन लेस देन 8 है, इट मीन्स दैट हीमेटोक्रिट इज ऑलवेज 3 टाइम्स ऑफ हीमोग्लोबिन. तो हीमेटोक्रिट इज लेस देन 24%, तभी हम ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन कर रहे हैं, ठीक है. एंड हमारा एम क्या है, एम है वी वांट टू रेज द हिमेटोक्रिट टू 55%. हम हमेशा एम करते हैं कि वी विल रेज द हिमेटोक्रिट टू 55%. सो इसको राउंड ऑफ करके ले लो 25%. मान लो 25% है हीमोग्लोबिन, सॉरी हिमेटोक्रिट, एंड वी विल ट्राई टू रेज इट टू 55%, ओके. सो व्हाट वी डू इज, our desired hematocrit is 55, desired hematocrit हम चाहते हैं 55% करेंगे. हमारा actual hematocrit is 25, suppose it is 25, because hematocrit 25 से fall हुआ है तभी तो हमारा हम IUT कर रहे हैं. our donor hematocrit means the blood जिसका हम hematocrit लेते हैं, it is always constant and it is 80, बिकॉज हमने बोला था वी आर गिविंग डबल वॉल्यूम एक्सचेंज ट्रांसफ्यूजन, DV इट इज डबल वॉल्यूम एक्सचेंज ट्रांसफ्यूजन. blood has always 80% hematocrit which we transfuse to fetuses, so 80 by 80 into estimated fetal weight we have calculated when we are doing ultrasound. suppose it is 2 kg, आज का बर्थ मतलब estimated fetal weight है 2 kg, so we will write 2 into fetoplacental blood volume is always constant, it is 300 ml. This is also a constant, 300. So 80 is constant, our 55 desired is also constant, our 300 is also constant. So what is varying is हमारा वेट कितना है बच्चे का एंड आज का हिमेटोक्रिट कितना है. आज का हिमेटोक्रिट हमें कैसे पता लगेगा, व्हेन वी आर डूइंग इंट्रायूटेराइन ट्रांसफ्यूजन इन द वेरी बिगिनिंग वी विल सेंड अ सैंपल एंड नो कि आज का हिमेटोक्रिट कितना है. सो बाय दिस यू कैन कैलकुलेट वेरी इजी, यू कैन कैलकुलेट कितना ml ऑफ ब्लड you are transfusing, very easy. So what we actually do is, this is the uterus and this is the baby inside the uterus whom we have to transfuse. So initially what we will do is, we under ultrasound guidance, so this is the ultrasound probe and this is the ultrasound which is going. So you are seeing under ultrasound guidance, what you do is, first you go towards the buttock of the baby, towards the buttock of the baby, and then insert a needle towards the buttock and you injection vecuronium bromide, or else if you do not have vecuronium you can inject pancuronium, okay. So these are anesthetic agents, so like this you can anesthetize the baby. अदरवाइज बेबी विल बी मूविंग एंड बेबी अगर मूव करता रहेगा तो आप ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन नहीं कर पाओगे. सो फर्स्ट इन द थाई और इन द बटक यू इंजेक्ट वेक्यूरोनियम. कितना इंजेक्ट करना है, 0.1 ml पर kg. अगर बेबी का वेट 2 kg है तो 0.2 ml यू इंजेक्ट इन द बटक्स एंड लेट द बेबी स्लीप. उसके बाद बेबी विल बी एनेस्थेटाइज्ड एंड बेबी विल स्लीप फॉर द नेक्स्ट हाफ एन आवर टू 1 hour. After that what you do is, under ultrasound guidance you try to check for the umbilical cord. Umbilical cord दिख जाएगा. The region where the umbilical cord is entering the abdomen, that is the place where you will go for blood transfusion. So at the junction of umbilical cord and ductus venosus, umbilical vein and ductus venosus, the junction is the junction which we take. There you take a needle, poke over there and then initially take a sample, a little bit of sample, 2 ml sample ले लो and send the sample to laboratory, whereby you will know what is the hematocrit and what is the hemoglobin. ये वैल्यू आपको मिल जाएगा. After that, you calculate the amount of blood and then you keep transfusing the blood into the junction of umbilical vein and ductus venosus. Okay, तो वहाँ पे हेपेटिक वेन्स होते हैं, उसमें हम ट्रांसफ्यूज कर देते हैं. सो दिस इज हाउ वी मैनेज अ पेशेंट. सो वंस यू हैव गिवन IUT देने के बाद आपका हेमाटोक्रिट बढ़ गया टू 55%. But then this blood will also be slowly destroyed because mother has already produced anti-D. बॉडी में आगे RH आइसोइम्यूनाइज्ड है, इसीलिए तो डैमेज हो रहा है. तो डैमेज रेट कितना है? डैमेज रेट इज 1.2% per day. Hematocrit falls by 1.2% per day. So if my hematocrit today is 55%, then how many days will it take to come back again to 25%? कितना है? 55 minus 25 is 30. 30 divided by 1.2, it is somewhere around 21 to 22. कुछ ऐसा वैल्यू आएगा. तो 21 days it will take. That is 3 weeks it will take to again fall, the blood to fall to a hematocrit of 25%. So what I will ask my patient is, come after 3 weeks, and after 3 weeks we will again do intrauterine transfusion. So this is how we calculate कि हम next intrauterine transfusion कब देंगे बेबी को. Okay, so this is how we do. And what is our aim? Our aim is to take the pregnancy to 34 weeks. At 34 weeks we give corticosteroid cover and then we go for cesarean section or NVD, whatever is feasible, and we deliver the baby. क्योंकि जितना लंबा आप प्रेगनेंसी खींचेंगे उतने ही नंबर ऑफ IUTs बढ़ जाएगा. And every IUT is an invasive procedure and there is high risk of fetal damage to the other organs. So that is why we want to reduce the number of IUTs. So we deliver by 34 weeks when the lungs are mature. Okay. So this is what is important. Now during a NVD or cesarean section of an RH negative mother, what are the precautions that you take? This is very important. What precautions do you take? Number one, you remember, always inform the neonatologist. Pediatrician should be informed because pediatrician has to know that baby might have hydropic features and neonatal blood transfusion देने की ज़रूरत पड़ सकता है. Number two, you have to send some samples of the baby after birth. What are the samples you send? One is blood group of the baby, whether blood group is positive or negative. Then the hemoglobin and hematocrit of the baby, because अगर hemoglobin कम है, anemic है, then you have to transfuse double volume transfusion to the baby also. Then total serum bilirubin has to be sent क्योंकि that will tell कि patient baby कितना icteric है, कितना jaundice है. And then the direct Coombs test. तो बच्चे में direct Coombs test होता है, mother में indirect Coombs test होता है. Number 3, you have to be gentle during delivery. ठीक है, ज़्यादा खींचातानी नहीं करना है because that will increase feto-maternal hemorrhage and chances of isoimmunization of the mother will increase. Then number 4, early cord clamping has to be done. This is because जितना late आप cord clamping करोगे उतना ही ज़्यादा feto-maternal hemorrhage हो जाएगा. तो for decreasing feto-maternal hemorrhage and maternal-fetal hemorrhage, मदर से बेबी में ब्लड आने का रिस्क भी कम हो जाएगा अगर हम अर्ली कॉर्ड क्लैंपिंग करेंगे. नंबर 5, यू हैव टू कीप अ लॉन्ग कॉर्ड फॉर द बेबी. लॉन्ग अम्बिलिकल कॉर्ड रखेंगे क्योंकि ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन की ज़रूरत पड़ सकता है एंड सैम्पलिंग की भी ज़रूरत पड़ सकता है. ठीक है. एंड नंबर 6, यू हैव टू लुक फॉर पोस्टनेटल एंटी-डी प्रोफाइलैक्सिस. Postnatal anti-D prophylaxis says that except for RADEP जो हम कर रहे थे 28 वीक्स पे सबको एंटीनेटल एंटी-डी प्रोफाइलैक्सिस कर रहे थे, एंटी-डी 300 माइक्रोग्राम्स. Apart from that, in the postpartum period also we give anti-D to every mother, and postpartum anti-D is also 300 micrograms international IM, deep IM we give stat, same dose we give within 72 hours of delivery. Within 72 hours of delivery again we give. This is because during delivery there is lot of feto-maternal hemorrhage, and उस feto-maternal hemorrhage को nullify करने के लिए we give a second dose at 72 hours after delivery. Remember, the dose of anti-D is 300 micrograms, but if patient undergoes any abortion, अगर पेशेंट को एबॉर्शन होता है या फिर एनी MTP विच इज़ डन एट लेस देन 20 वीक्स पीरियड ऑफ जेस्टेशन, अगर फर्स्ट 5 मंथ्स में बच्चा खराब होता है, देन योर एंटी-डी डोज इज 50 माइक्रोग्राम्स international, that is intramuscularly 50 micrograms. But if pregnancy extends beyond 20 weeks, then always you inject 300 micrograms of anti-D. Always remember, in some countries we do not blindly give 300 micrograms. There we do KB test. KB test, ये टेस्ट का नाम याद रख लो because it comes in exam. KB test is Klehor-Bettkes test. Klehor-Bettkes test, HAUER, Klehor-Bettkes test. This is basically an acid elution test. Acid elution test. So what actually we do in this test is we take the mother का blood, ठीक है, mother's का blood is taken and we add CPD, that is citrate phosphate buffer, ठीक है, dextrose buffer, citrate phosphate dextrose buffer is added. Now citric acid is an acid, it will hemolyze all the maternal blood vessels, all the blood cells. So maternal RBCs will show like this as hemolyzed cells. They will be called as the ghost cells. They are called ghost cells because they have been hemolyzed. But fetal RBCs or fetal hemoglobin is very strong. So fetal hemoglobin, fetal RBCs रह जाएंगे, वो घोस्ट सेल्स नहीं होंगे, ठीक है. तो उसमें पता चल जाएगा कितना fetal RBCs है. So number of fetal RBCs, okay, per 1000 maternal RBCs, that is maternal ghost cells into 5000, ठीक है, will tell us about what is the amount of feto-maternal hemorrhage in ml. feto-maternal hemorrhage in ml, कितना वॉल्यूम ऑफ feto-maternal hemorrhage हुआ है वो इस टेस्ट से पता चलता है. दिस इज Klehor-Bettkes test which is done. Okay, apart from that there are some other questions which are asked. What is grandmother theory? Grandmother theory is that, मान लो कोई पेशेंट है जो प्राइमी ग्रेविडा है, शी इज़ फर्स्ट टाइम प्रेग्नेंट G1 एंड शी इज़ हैज़ कम विथ फीटल हाइड्रॉप्स, उसका बेबी हाइड्रॉप्स हो गया. इसका मतलब उसके बॉडी में ऑलरेडी पहले से एंटी-डी बना हुआ है, तभी वो इस बच्चे को ख़राब कर रही है. तो वो पहले एंटी-डी बना कहाँ से है, दैट यू हैव टू चेक. तो पहले एंटी-डी कहाँ से बना होगा? इफ़ पेशेंट हैज़ रिसीव्ड प्रीवियस ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन, एनी पॉजिटिव ब्लड पहले ट्रांसफ्यूज़ हो गया था तो उससे एंटी-डी बन सकता है, या फिर पेशेंट को और कोई ट्रॉमा या एक्सीडेंट्स हुआ हो, तो दीज कैन बी सम ऑफ द रीजंस. बट इफ़ पेशेंट इज़ गिविंग नो हिस्ट्री कि उसको ना ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन हुआ, ना उसको पहले ट्रॉमा हुआ, फिर भी उसके बॉडी में एंटी-डी कहाँ से आ गया, दिस इज एक्सप्लेन्ड विद ग्रैंड मदर थ्योरी. इट सेज दैट दिस मदर हु इज़ प्राइमी ग्रेविडा, व्हेन शी वॉज अ फीटस, वो खुद फीटस थी, पेट के अंदर थी, ठीक है, एंड शी वॉज RH नेगेटिव, शी इज़ RH नेगेटिव ऑफ कोर्स, बट हर मदर, दैट इज़ द ग्रैंड मदर, वॉज RH पॉजिटिव. ग्रैंडमदर, मैटरनल ग्रैंडमदर RH पॉजिटिव थी. सो देयर वॉज मैटरनो-फीटल हेमरेज एंड मदर का ब्लड बच्चे में आ गया था, जिसके कारण उसके अंदर डी एंटीजेंस आ गए थे. तो वो जब बचपन में थी उसी समय उसने एंटी-डी बना लिया है अपने बॉडी में. Now this anti-D during the time till she gets married and she has her first baby, वो already IgG बन चुका है. So she will destroy the first baby also. So this is grandmother theory by which the primary gravidas also destroy their baby. Okay. So this is how we approach a patient of RH negative pregnancy. Important questions will be, what are the conditions leading to feto-maternal hemorrhage, वो table मैंने बताया है. Then comes, how will you manage a patient of RH isoimmunized pregnancy. अगर वो RH negative है, then how do you monitor? If it is RH positive, then how do you monitor? Then how do you diagnose hydrops fetalis? What are the signs of hydrops fetalis? Okay, and how do you treat it? So basically intrauterine transfusion has to be done, and prior to intrauterine transfusion you have to check that the ICT titer is more than 1:16 and MCA PSV is more than 1.5 multiples of median. So if they are qualifying, then you go for intrauterine transfusion. What are the steps of intrauterine transfusion? How do we do it? Is something which is very important. So I hope you have understood the class. If you have any doubt anywhere, anytime, you can just let me know. Anti-D ka dose and when anti-D is given is very important and is asked in examination. Thank you so